Hello everybody and welcome back to this week's new vlog. Today I have the house completely to myself. Yay! This is a very rare occurrence, so I'm taking full advantage of it to do a clean. It's already like a few days into March and I've done some things because I like to do a little bit of a reset prior to the start of each month, but I didn't do as much as I typically have done in the past with my reset videos. Now, if you've seen my reset videos before, I stopped doing them because they felt a little bit too repetitive, like I was doing the same exact thing and nothing really was changing besides my bullet journal spreads and my monthly wrap-ups, and I got a little bored of doing them. But in finding Allie's channel, I saw her do a similar video of cleaning but incorporating a lot of reading into it as a reward. Now, I really like to clean, but I think incorporating reading into it would be a good idea. So here I am stealing Allie's idea. In her video, she cleans one section of her house or whatever she needed to clean, and then afterwards she would reward herself by reading a certain number of pages with a roll of die. I need to scrounge around the apartment to look for a die, but I want to do that today, and in doing so I'm gonna read a cozy little book. Brigands and Breadknives by Baldree is due at the library quite soon, so I thought it'd be perfect timing to read this and get a lot of pages done. I am currently in the middle of another book as well. My bad. This may be my at-home book because I do need to leave the house to go grocery shopping, but I also need to get a wax. That could be my like commute book, but we can start in on this. Currently I am washing the towels. That's in the wash. That should be the only laundry that I have to do because I already washed the sheets at the beginning of the month as well as laundry yesterday, so that should be that. And then I'm gonna get in on my home workout. I decided to opt out of the gym just because I'm not sure if my knee is 100% yet, and I never know what weights are going to be available at my gym. Let's work out, shower, and then we can do a little bit of reading. I'm showered and I worked out, so let's start in on my book. I found a die, yes, so let's roll her. 2. And then we're supposed to multiply this by 10, so 20 pages to start. I'm like debating if I even want to leave the house today. I really tried to think about how to describe this book because it's so cozy. It's also a sequel. I don't know, obviously since I haven't read it yet, how it can be read as a standalone, but I honestly really liked Legends and Lattes. It's very like sweet, cozy, magical, so I would recommend it. I'm just gonna read you the synopsis. Fern has weathered the stillness and storms of a bookseller's life for decades, but now, in the face of crippling ennui, transplants herself to the city of Thun to hang out her shingle beside a long-absent friend's coffee shop. What could be a better pairing? Surely a charming renovation montage will cure what ails her. If only things were so simple. It turns out that fixing your life isn't a one-time prospect, nor as easy as a change of scenery and a lick of paint. A drunken and desperate knight sees the ratkin waking far from home in the company of a legendary warrior, an outlaw goblin with a fondness for silverware and an absolutely thumping hangover. As together they fend off a rogues gallery of ne'er-do-wells trying to reclaim the bounty on the goblin's head, Fern might find the courage to step off the beaten path in order to find her true self. I don't know if I'm just like not awake yet or something, but I'm just reading it also because it's a sequel. I'm seeing that the 20-page mark is right in between a chapter and to the end of a sentence, so I might cheat a little and read to the end of the chapter, which is to page 25. I'm changing the rules to the number that I roll on the dice is how many chapters I'm gonna read, because it does not feel right to just leave off the chapter right in the middle. The laundry is done, like the dryer just went off, so I think I'm going to fold that, put away laundry from yesterday that I had drying, and then I have to leave. I'm like really dreading this. So it's been a minute since I've read Legends and Lattes, so there's like details that I'm not really remembering, character names, like visuals that I just have forgotten about. I read the first 2 chapters and I'm a little lost lost. It seems like Fern is the ratkin, right? So that I assume is like the mousy looking one, has closed their bookstore to move to Thune, where Viv, the orc thingy from the first book, is with their cafe. It turns out that Viv is now married to Tandri, the little vampire thingy. Now Fern is opening up a bookstore there, fresh new beginning, literally right next door to the bookstore. Wait, what? To the cafe, which is like perfect, you know? They're really good friends, but I just like don't understand what else is going to happen. Like, I don't know what else is happening. It seems like construction is underway right now of the bookstore, and Fern is just feeling a lot of feelings because they're nervous and they're in this new town. Viv has already obviously established herself in this little town because of her business. I have considered already putting it down, but this is the thing about like me not reading series, especially fantasy series, very close together, which is why I typically read them quite delayed and not on the hype, because I get so lost. And then I was like, oh, well, if I don't read this book, then this whole video concept kind of goes away. Should I even be doing this at all? But I have to clean. I might as well do the video. I'm heading out now. It's like unseasonably warm today. It's like almost 50 degrees, so not really sure what to wear. I just came back from grocery shopping. I'm so hungry. It's actually pretty late. I read a lot on the train, thankfully. I actually ended up reading 2 more chapters of Brigands and Breadknives though, because the other book that I was reading, literally I opened up the page to the sex scene and the subway was way too crowded for me to be reading about hard dicks and steamy shower sex. Okay, so I promptly closed her, and then I read 2 more chapters, waited for some people to not be directly in my space, and continued on. I think I can read while I'm waiting for food. I'm gonna order Chipotle because I've been craving some. Coda never really wants to eat it, and my friend Erica really got me back into Chipotle after telling me last year that she eats it like once a week, and I was like, oh, I haven't really thought about her in a while. I'm gonna make myself a little burrito bowl. I feel really bad because it's like already past 7 o'clock and I haven't really actually cleaned anything. I don't think my order will take too long. I am doing pickup. Now I finished my show. I'm all caught up with Memory of a Killer, which I really enjoyed, and I tried to log on to Hulu for lunch and it was down again, so I couldn't catch up on Criminal Minds. So there is a Knicks game on today that I like completely was unaware of against OKC, so I might try to catch that. It's already on right now. I do want to do some simple cleaning right now, so I'm just going to dust this area, like clean and organize it before I have to go pick up my food. Uber pickup order for Noah. When I eat by myself, I rarely eat in the dining room. I always like eat at my desk, so I'm going to have the TV on, background to the Knicks game. Pretty decent game so far. Knicks are down by 6, but it's okay. It's a home game. I believe in them. And I think I am going to read. We'll see how well that goes. I have my Chipotle, my burrito bowl, and I think we can read a little bit more. I always opt for a bowl. My friend Mai, she is a Halloween baby, so every year we would dress up and go get our free Chipotle for her birthday. That was like our routine. This is mine. I got the chicken al pastor because I heard that came back. Brown rice, fajita veg, black beans, mild tomato sauce, medium green sauce, sour cream, cheese, and lettuce. Yay! Let's roll my dice. 3 chapters. The 3 chapters are the reward for wiping down the top of my dresser. This is his 11th game. I finished eating and I have leftovers for tomorrow's lunch. I also read 3 chapters. I read chapters 6 to 8. I'm finally getting like a grasp of the story. Fern has moved to Thune to open up the bookstore next to Viv's Legends and Lattes coffee shop, but has then run away from this life, very midlife crisis style. And I think the elf that they have run away with is a bounty hunter, Asterix. They're very matter of fact. They're like 1,000 years old. They are looking for someone, and Fern is just happens to be along for the ride in their car. In talking with Asterix and coming up with excuses, or like trying to explain herself to Viv in a letter, is trying to understand within herself of why she has run away. And I think it's just because everything in their life seemed too perfect. They do really love book selling, but it just seems like a really difficult life. It's getting a little bit boring right now, and it seems hard with how like expensive things can be and how unwilling people might be to buy things. So they have just run away. There's no like really clear definition, and I'm not really sure what's going on, but I think Fern just misses a little bit of change in their life and excitement, which is why being with Asterix has been kind of fun so far, because Asterix is like I said, a bounty hunter. I don't remember if Fern was one of the people that Viv worked with, because Viv was also a bounty hunter of some sort, or like a hired sword basically. She had a team of people, and I don't remember if Fern was one of them. I'm still a little bit lost on like the people, like the characters. I'm kind of just reading to read. New York is still down by 10. It's now the 3rd quarter. Anything can happen, but what should I clean next? Let's just organize my desk. I forgot one of the tasks today was to do my taxes. It's currently a 3-point game, technically 4. We'll see with the free throw. But I just finished cleaning my desk, so let's roll the die. 4 chapters. The Knicks lost. Really close. I feel like OG could have made the last shot, but it's fine. I finished my 4 chapters also, so I'm gonna go clean the bathroom, and then we can come back to read a little bit more, and then I can finish off. Oh no, I still have to sweep. I have to sweep and clean the other half of my room. And I have like a lot of shit to do still, guys. Damn. In terms of this book, I feel like I'm kind of just along for the ride. I don't really know what's happening or how this book is gonna go, which I guess is literally how cozy fantasies and cozy mysteries go, or at least cozy fantasies. I'm not super invested. We're traveling around a lot. I think we've just found out that the goblin that they have has a fondness for silverware, like the synopsis said. They're eating out right now, traveling. I'm not really sure where. Like, they have a map, but I don't feel super inclined to like refer to it. The thing that I enjoyed about Legends and Lattes was the coziness of the cafe and curating a vibe and an atmosphere and learning about different coffees and all of these delicious pastries, and I'm not really getting that same vibe from this book. If Fern had stayed in Thun to do like the bookstore, I think that would have been maybe the same vibe, but there's a lot more like action, and I don't know like if they're gonna be just traveling around or not. I'm now like about to start chapter 13. This is page 90. I typically give books maybe 100 pages to DNF. I don't know. Maybe I should take a break from reading it. I just like every time I read, I don't really know what's going on, and I'm just reading it to read it. slept terribly. I barely slept. And I got woken up by that. Except it was way worse before. I didn't even sleep 5 hours. I really tried. Like, my eyes were getting heavy, but I couldn't shut my mind off. Like, too many things were on my mind. So I did read a little bit more of Brigands and Breadknives. I also just woke up and did some light cleaning of the kitchen. So I am going to read through my breakfast. Hopefully I'll have time to clean the bathroom before I leave. But I do want to leave early because I can just feel it in my bones that I'm gonna sleep past my stop. So we're gonna be prepared. I read up to chapter 19 from chapter 13. I read quite a bit today already. I just like don't really still feel like I understand what's happening. I'm really merely just an observer that's kind of like daydreaming sometimes, and then I'm like running after them to be along for the ride, like kind of head empty, but not necessarily hating it enough to DNF it. I also just feel like I'm a little in too deep. That feels like 40% of the way through already. There's also like the swords can talk. I don't really know if that happened in the first book, but I'm confused. There's one that's called Bradley, but everyone's calling him Breadley because he was part of this great sword that turned into a bread knife. So they call him Breadley, which I think is hilarious. But like, that's really all I can say about it. Let's find the die and we'll read. 5 chapters. Hi everybody, it's actually been a couple days. I wasn't feeling too well and the cleaning was taking a little bit longer than I had anticipated, which kind of worked out because I was able to finish the book. The day that I finished the book, I was able to clean the bathroom. I feel so much better about it because the mirror was so dirty. I can finally see myself in the mirror and I just feel like a lot better. The only thing that I wasn't able to do was my taxes, which I already have a day set aside to do that this week, so it'll be fine. But I did want to wrap up with Brigands and Breadknives since I did finish the book. Unfortunately, I'm giving the book 2 stars. I just didn't feel any of the coziness that the first book did because it was more of like an adventure-based fantasy. Fern was still figuring a lot of things within herself while also going on this journey with a bounty hunter. It wasn't cozy and I didn't really like know what was happening or like care about the characters. I don't honestly remember Fern a lot, and maybe because they weren't really coming up within that world. I was just reading it to finish the book and I didn't know what was going on. Unfortunately, that is currently the lowest rated book I've read this year. Maybe if I just like had different expectations for it going in, it would have been fine. Anyway, my space is clean, I'm feeling good, and at least I got a book out of it. So I will see you all in my next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!